Chairman Mao lost power by then, Henry Kissinger, and the type of agreement that they managed to make for the West, for the people, that benefited the people more, and not just the global international order, so that we could rest in peace without having to worry about these things. Yes. So the thing is, and then there's all this garbage and this rubbish. Yeah. I mean, let's have a look. Let's have a look where the garbage is going. And they're complaining about what are all these Turks doing in Germany? Send them home. Yeah. What are they all doing? You explain to me. So look at the trade deals. Like, where does the main destination of European garbage go? This is from the European Commission. Where does it go?
So 67% of all ferrous metal waste is exported from the EU to Turkey.
Yeah.
13.1 million tons.
Yeah. And do people know how dangerous this is? I mean, the recycling, the cost and everything, it's because we can't be bothered doing it ourselves. Yes, and England's just left the European Union, so some of that data and parts because England sends it to Europe, and then it gets transferred from there. And so let's have a look. While England was still in the EU, yeah, around that time, 2021, 45% went to Turkey. Yes, then to India, then to Egypt. Yes, and then Switzerland, but it was resent on, and the UK, and it's resent on, diverted. But realistically, it's the third world, these countries, that are doing these things. You see, that we're sending all these things to all these other places. You see, so we're just sending it to these other places. And the thing is, we just think, and we just seem to imagine that they're burying a lot of the waste, but they're not really. And then the thing is, we're complaining. Yeah. And what is even worse, it's like, in Holland, there's a huge Pakistan population. Yeah, so the thing is, we don't know what trade deals they've got. Like, let's say in Pakistan or in Turkey, they're throwing a lot of waste in landfills, not just metals and all these things every year from Europe and America, let's say. So now the thing is, you're dumping it in their land and they're burying it. Yeah, or they're processing it and they're doing it by manual labor. So now if let's say we're dumping it on their land. So now we're throwing people off that land. Now Turkey is going to turn and say, hey, for this land, we've had to move 10,000 people off. Now, if you're Mr. Germany or Mr. Holland, you'll say, don't worry, send them to us. We will send the garbage. That's how the exchange deal works. You see? Yes? That it's like you will see that they're sitting on the same day for trade deals, European Union trade deals. Nobody looks through them. We're having summits every damn day between trade leaders, and then they'll sit down and say, today they signed a trade deal that 2,000 migrants will be accepted from Somalia into Turkey, and then Turkey's contributing towards this port, continuing, and Turkish military can stay there, or American soldiers can stay in Mogadishu, and things like this, and Somalian and Ethiopian migrants, we're going to allow another 5,000 into the US. They're actually there, nothing's hidden. You see? Unfortunately, people don't check through it. It's there every day. Yes, Financial Times and other places. So the thing is, let's say in Holland, yeah, so they've thrown these people off the land, let's say EU waste going there. Read through this.
Where does EU waste go? In recent years, Pakistan has markedly grown as a destination for EU waste, with volumes increasing from 0.1 million tons to 1.4 million tons in 2021.
Yeah, so we've got this problem, and it's just going up and up and up. Yes, and so the thing is now, another thing is, in England, Australia, and Canada, there's so many people from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Now, this is very important. Now, the thing is, let's have a look at the relationship between Canada, Australia, and England, and India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. This is another industry.
Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan amounting almost 90% of the gross tonnage dismantled globally in 2019. And some of these ships has been either exported illegally And then it goes
Yeah,
on. Okay, so 90,
yeah, waste.
90%. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, if somebody's going to complain, I'm just pretending that there's 10 million Pakistanis in England. Let's pretend 10 million Indians or 20 million or something like this. I mean, the thing is, we've been sending our garbage to them for the last 30, 40 years.
But then it just
What
seems obvious we need better, whatever, recycling and disposal systems or something, or other resources to use that don't create
Yeah,
as
you
much
pay for
waste.
it. You pay for it. Yes.
I don't care who pays for it, but it seems it's
Well, we've
necessary.
already got a better one. We've got a better one. All these right-wing people who want to speak, please go and work in the rubbish dump. Do it yourself. They won't do it. They'll say, oh, I don't want to do this. It's hard work. They won't do it.
Yes,
Do you know what?
but then all the
For the
service
sake, for
industry
the
and
sake of stopping immigration, please do it.
I know
Do you know what?
this
Please do
this
it
no
so we can
wait
send them
wait,
home.
but disregarding immigration, then whatever innovation and creative power from Europe should be used as one example to improve these recycling
Actually,
systems so we don't need to send it all
like
around
of
the
the
world.
reality about waste, it doesn't work like that. The waste, you've got to separate it. Like, for example, even if we put cardboard paper waste on somewhere and it's got sellotape on it, now we've got the paper there. So when it goes to a country like Pakistan, Bangladesh, we're paying them so cheap, somebody will sit there removing the sellotape from the cardboard. We won't do that in England. Then you've got to turn, I think you've got the plastic bottles. We separated it. No, 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 we didn't do it well enough. Yeah, the plastic bottles and then the cellophane paper or wrapping around it, somebody else will take that off. I'm being serious, Joe. A lot of it, unfortunately, has to be done manually. That the thing is, and you're going to say invest in these systems. Who's going to pay for all this? They're already fed up of the foreigners, and they're saying it, and they're saying David is getting angry or something. It's because, yeah, I'm saying that what do you call it? Yes, the thing is, yeah, okay. If you want me on your side, I will be on your side. If tomorrow you do it yourself, go to a rubbish center and stand there and start working 10 hours a day separating the garbage yourself. Go and volunteer and do it for a year. Prove it. You see? Don't worry about the smell. Yeah? Don't worry about anything. Don't worry about anything. Get it done. Don't buy synthetic fibers that are made from oil for the clothes or anything from the Middle East. I mean, you're going to help so that we can not depend on foreigners, so that we can send the foreigners home. Prove it. Have I got a fair point? I'm being fair to people. I'm saying if you don't want them here, yes, and then at least make a stand. Go and work in the rubbish dumps. Go and work in the farms 10, 12 hours a day. Yes. And the thing is so that you don't need to import food. Yes, England has enough land so that we could grow vegetables. England, Scotland, Wales, because we've got to use land for other uses also. Yes, for mining and everything. When we don't use their oil, and their gas and all these other things, then you know what? Yeah, just grow potatoes, eat potatoes 3 times a day, drink water, or just collect the rainwater. Please do it. Make a stand, set an example, show it. And if you're saying you can't do it, you can do it. They're doing it in some of these poor countries around the world. They've got lots of toothache pain. Don't worry about it. Don't go to a dentist where many of the materials and many of the doctors, Overseas Doctors Association, many foreign doctors, and many other things, and we've brought the metals from their lands. Prove it. Make a stand. I'm saying it in a nice way, not in an angry way. I'm trying to show. Have I got a great point? You can't just turn around and say throw one thing out and then think we're going to sort things out. So now let's see the food shortages. Yes, and this got me really upset because prices went up when England left the European Union. English prices are higher than the European Union. Do you know this? They're actually
Mm-hmm.
higher. Cigarettes, a lot of foodstuffs,
All
10
right.
or
Uh-huh.
20% higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the thing is, they turn around and say, we'll be okay. We don't want the Europeans here, never mind the foreigners. That's how many people were racist that they wanted to leave and all the other things they've left now. And now they're saying it's a government conspiracy. The prices have gone up. Get real. Get real. Do you know the headaches and everything? You know what I mean, of just arranging a trade deal, everything. I mean, it's just a nightmare with the businesses. Yeah, let's have a look at what realistically the reality of England, France, Germany, Italy, Holland, Sweden. You could read this. Here is the reality. Read it yourself.
After World War II, the empire was wound up and our former colonies went their own ways. At first, we were able to tie them down to long-term trade deals, which guaranteed supply at a discount price. But over time, they found other customers who were willing to
They
pay
got
more.
smart. They woke up. They said,
Caribbean
we're not going to be
sugar
your slaves.
and Canadian wheat went to the USA. While rationing ended in the mid 50s, we still had shortages of food for another 20 years. Then,
Stop. Stop. This is actually from people who are actually English people. Many people have made their blogs and their posts. And you don't need to go to a blog. Yeah. I mean, go and see your grandparents and other people. And there's people in old people's homes. Go and volunteer. Go and volunteer. Meet the old people. I mean, I volunteered for an old people's home. And I was actually so sad that many of them, I thought they turned around and said, we worked so hard in the 60s, 70s, and our grandchildren, our children, they don't want to know us. They don't want us. They don't want to know us. They worked hard in mining and everything. And what did we have? Food shortages, 50s, 60s, and 70s, until, in the 60s, the New World Order system came, whereby, yes, we made trade deals. Yeah. We're going to let in these Indians. We're going to let in these Moroccans. We're going to let in these Turks. We're going to let in these Algerians. We're going to let in these Pakistanis. We're going to let in these Arabs. We're going to let in these Afghanistanis, Iraqis, and other trade deals. Yes. So the thing is, that's when the food shortages ended after the 70s, basically in the 80s. Carry on reading, and you'll see.
the 1970s saw a succession of food crises: sugar in 1973, bread in 1974, salt in 1975, bread again in 1977. Shortages of supply drove up prices. Rising prices led to demands for higher wages, which led in turn to strikes. Supermarkets introduced rationing of sugar and bread. The TV show The Good Life comes from an era where panic about running out of the food led people to attempt self-sufficiency.
The truth is, we don't grow enough food. That is the truth. There's not enough land in Western Europe. And the thing is, we made all these deals, even the food from Eastern Europe. We were robbing them in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but we still had shortages buying from the communists. What we used to do is give them one car or something, or a few cars, and we were basically robbing them. For these trade deals and other things, and they didn't even want the cars. They didn't even have the tarmac roads. I mean, all these things. I'm being serious to you. All these people are saying people were cold, they were unhealthy, they lived shorter lives, they had all these other things. I'm going to go through the lifestyle. The thing is, what we did is we made these deals, and nobody has a look at them. Yes, and the thing is, um, people don't really have a look at proper things. This is by an English gentleman himself that nobody can say. It's by some Arab or a Turk or Pakistani or Indian. Yes, and the thing is, have a look. Have a look at this. Go to the membership of the.
Membership of the EU, in particular the Common Agricultural Policy, put an end to these shortages at the expense of tying us into a dysfunctional
Okay,
system.
okay. Now, he's so that's an opinion, but the thing is, what expense? People didn't even have bread. I mean, what the hell's your problem? You don't even have bread. People are going crazy. There's no bread. What do you want to do? So the common agricultural policy of of Western Europe was that buy it from the Eastern Europeans, so that the communists, oh yeah, just shoot any of these peasants in Albania, or shoot them in Macedonia, or shoot
So
them
that
in
was the real
Romania.
reason for all those land reforms in all the communist countries.
Yes. If you check it out, that ask the old people in Poland, they will say the communists, yes, they were actually just stealing everything. They lived a top life, and they were selling everything to the Western Europeans. Because Western Europe didn't have anything. We can't grow the food. Our population went up in the 19th century. That's why we went and invaded all these other countries. We actually don't have enough food. So now go on to the next paragraph. Yes.
We do, of course, grow some food ourselves, but British farmers have experienced labor shortages as far back as records go. The first scheme to bring Eastern European seasonal agricultural workers to the UK was set up under the Attlee government. Before then, Irish picking gangs came to the UK for work. Throughout all of this era, child labor was an important part of harvest, potato picking in the north, fruit and hops in the south.
Yeah, this is England and Scotland. So England couldn't feed its population, and the people didn't want to. I'm talking 100 years ago. And the thing is, many of the old people, they could remember what their grandparents said, never mind reading old books. Yes, and letters and everything, and the problems that you could see in people's letters. This is not some New World Order conspiracy, just in England. So what were they doing? Yes, they called it Irish picking gangs. It's because they formed gangs of kidnapping children from England, Eastern Europe. They were kidnapping these people. And this story, what they were doing, is because people didn't want to do it. They don't want to do it. It's because it's a nightmare. And then the only thing that you could actually grow is basically potatoes in Western Europe. I mean, we can't really do anything else with the land. Yeah, we could do other things, but I'm talking about for, let's say, if you've got your family. And then the thing is, how are you going to trade with the next place? Who's got the horses? And people are thinking we're going to have the roads, the telephones, and everything. No, we're not without a thing. So the story of the orphan trains and what we did to the Irish. Oh, yeah. So the thing is, do you think, Mr. England, you can just go to Ireland today and you can go and kidnap their children today? Try it. Maybe you could do it in the 19th century, because at that time the gun, the firearms had developed this new faster system. But these days they've got their own guns. They'll shoot you back. They'll shoot you if you go. Oh, you think you'll go around the third world now, trying to rob the whole world? Yeah, they'll shoot. They'll shoot you. You think you can rape their women? You think that the English can go there and rape the Irish again? Rape their women, kill their dads, take their children so that they have to do the farming and all these other things? Why do you think many of the English left? They didn't want to do this farming. They thought, hey, I'm going to go to the Americas. Yeah, I've got Indian slaves. I'm going to go to India. I've got these slaves. I'm going to go to China. I've got slaves. I'm going to Australia. I've got slaves who are working in plantations in Indonesia with these companies, this, that. I've got a better life. We've still got this better life. The slavery system is still continues, but not in such a bad way, not with so many human rights abuses like before. We've improved the system, and it's got better that the other side of the world is actually developing. Now, if we didn't send our machinery there, after the 1960s, it slowly started in the 70s, and by the 80s, they were gone. If we didn't do it, they would have made their own machinery within 25, 30 years. And then why would they need to make a trade deal with us then? So what we did is we made them dependent on us. So I will tell you what we did. Kissinger was smart, and the rest of these people. They said, if they use our machinery, then they're going to be busy manufacturing, and they're not going to make a machinery that's even better. So while we've got free time, now we've got the time, and we can use our think tank, and we can organize ourselves. We can go 25 years ahead, and we'll make machinery that's 25 years ahead. So that's what we've done right now. So right now we can carry on running this global international system for another 25, 30 years, but then the clock's ticking. So within the next 25, 30 years, that's why they want to build smart cities and other things, nothing to do with the digital currency and whatever. They might not even get that done. Microchip currency, maybe they'll not do it in the end. It depends if the good side wins in the New World Order. Yeah. The thing is, the main thing is, we've got to make ourselves self-sufficient. And the thing is, that's why they're turning around and saying, in many of these cities right now, we're wasting food. We're paying such a cheap
Oh, yeah, for
price.
sure.
The amount of meat we're just throwing away, leftovers in a plate, just throw it in the bin. Yeah, and things like this. So if people are saying contribute, I never waste food. Never, never, almost never, never. I never do it. And the thing is, and so the resources we're wasting, it's like it's totally ridiculous. The system cannot continue. Yes. And so the thing is, let's just have a look at the UK. This is, just an Englishman who's telling his story of his life. And so read it. Yeah.
A high reliance on imports of food combined with a reliance on imported labor for domestic production means that the risk of disruption in 2021 is very high, even if a minimal deal is agreed. We simply don't have time to implement the systems we need to manage a deal in 3 weeks. An extended transition period would mitigate a lot of those risks, but the government is unlikely to be that pragmatic. To add,
Okay, right. Yeah, I'll explain this. So we have to depend on imported food. Yes, because many of these people, yeah, they'll jump up and down in protest. Why don't you go and work in these farms? So what if they're paying less? Don't you want to protect Britain or protect
that would
France?
be the patriotic thing to do.
Yes, but they won't do it. So the thing is, and we can't even get a minimum deal with them because you're going to bring one immigrant to work. He's going to bring his wife. Maybe he's got two children. He will be able to bring his parents and his wife's parents. So that means they've just brought four adults, five, six, eight people. Now, if they have two more children, which used to be back in the days, but now they don't have large families when they come here, they have around two or three. So the thing is, you've just brought eight people into the country because of one. So they're saying if the government blame them, no, you can't. What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Nobody wants to do farming. What do you, they stayed quiet. They let it happen in the 1920s and 30s, kidnapping Irish children, raping Irish women. I mean, go and try and do that now. Let's see what the Irish will do to you, Mr. England, Mr. Scotland, Mr. Wales. Yeah, and if you're going to say, oh, no, that didn't happen, what a lie. Go and ask the Irish. Yeah, well, what happened to their country? And if someone's going to say, oh, he's just talking around and saying the British did that in India, the French did it in whatever, it was right on our doorstep. We were doing it because we were desperate. We can't feed ourselves. Yeah, and then go to the next paragraph.
To add to the mess, the UK historically has had a balance of payments problem. We import more than we export. Over the last few decades, this hasn't really mattered because the flow of funds into the City of London balanced out the flow of money out of the country to pay for imports. In simple terms, money coming into the UK financial services sector balances out the money that leaves the UK to buy wine, cheese, and BMWs. If financial service business shifts to Frankfurt or Paris, it gets harder and harder to manage that flow
Okay,
funds. Hmm.
now I will explain to you because from a young age I brought shares in stocks and bonds. Probably I first started looking into it when I was 15, 16. I was looking at stocks and bonds reports in companies when I was 17. When I was 18, I was getting from many investment companies going through all their reports, everything and things like that. By the time I was 20, I was lucky. I had thousands in the stock market myself. I'm being serious here. Yeah. So the thing is, I have an idea how it works. A lot of it is a fraud, what's going on in the stock exchange, and a lot of it is a joke. But a lot of it is actually real. It depends. The moment you figure it out, and the speculation and the games that's going on. But let me explain what is really going on. We don't produce anything in Europe. We really don't. We've got a big services economy. In other words, whereby people have nice jobs. 80% of the jobs are nice, that you don't have to do difficult jobs. And the thing is, why it doesn't matter, not just in London, but in Frankfurt or Paris or throughout Europe. It's because we've got these foreigners here, and what many people don't know is that more money is coming into the UK or to France or to Germany or to the US or to Canada or Australia. It's because many of these foreigners who've come, what many people don't know is that they are their families. Yeah, maybe you'll turn around and think, oh, he just looks like an average Turk. He's doing the taxis here or something, or an Arab in Paris doing taxis, or a Pakistan Indian doing taxis in England, or a Sikh doing taxis in Australia, or a Bangladesh doing taxis in New York. Now, I will explain the reality to you. People are saying they're not contributing. It's their money from their families and other things that, for example, yes, they've got land, they've got other things, and they're linked to people in business and industry to the extended family in the other sides of the world. Believe it or not, it's actually shocking. Yes, and then the thing is, yeah, they send money out. Yes, when they're working, But then, I'm not saying everybody, up to a quarter of these people have got huge landownings and huge property over there that they're collecting money from rent and many other things, from companies and residents and other things. And this money comes into our side of the world. That's why we've actually got more money coming in into the financial services. And that's why the government can pay people, all these benefits and all these other things. If this system collapses, then we've got nothing. Send these people back in Austria. Send them back in Germany. Send them back in Holland, in Norway, Sweden, Finland, in France, in Spain, in England, in Scotland. Yeah, Ireland already has a problem. That's why they want to bring more of these people in, because they know that if you bring them in right now, before their countries become modern and developed, we can make a trade deal whereby we've got an advantage. Do you see? Actually, the truth is we're bankrupt countries. We don't have anything. We've got fuck all. I didn't want to use this type of language, but I'm being serious here. We never had anything in Europe. What have we got? Small piece of land that we're all going to fight over. I'm from Flanders. I'm from Fleming. I'm from Belgium. That the moment the European Union collapses, I mean, Belgium collapses. Everybody knows this. Anytime these people could form a war, I mean, even Catalan, even Spain will collapse. Andalusia, you've got the people there who remember their Muslim ancestry and the other things. Yes, and there's a million people, they're just calling them gypsies or other crap. Yeah, just because they're darker because of the sun. Can't you see that the sunshine there? Yeah. I mean, then there's Catalonia who doesn't want to stay. Then there's these things. We've got so many problems. Yeah, that the thing is, many provinces, even France, won't survive. That Brittany will turn on. There's going to be people there who are going to think, what have I got to gain with this going back to farming fucking potatoes? What the fuck is that? Eating fucking chips day and night. In fact, let me just show you without the oil and everything. Yeah, yeah, just enjoy it. Yeah, there's no bread. There's riots and shortages for bread in France and Germany. Here's the potatoes. Yeah, without the oil, it's even worse. Yeah, oh, you don't even have the paper there. What are you going to cook on? Yeah, the stainless steel. Are you going to send your dad and everybody back to the mining and all these things? I
Back
mean,
to
the
the steel mill.
accidents. Yeah, yeah, and it was horrible. There wasn't even proper showers. It was so smelly, so dirty. I don't even know what to say. You see? Yes. So the thing is, the truth is, I'm not being hateful or anything. We don't import anything. I don't even know what to do. But what do you suggest? I mean, Austria's in the same situation. You don't produce anything. What are you going to do?
Right?
What are
We
you going to
we
do?
we only produce a little bit of very specialized machinery and
That's
a,
because
a little bit of
that's
food.
because that's because of Henry Kissinger and the Jews. Yes. What they did was a great favor for the rest of the world. They were the middle people, and they managed. Henry Kissinger and many of his Jewish colleagues. Yeah, and people are going to turn around and say, "Oh, the Jews are running this and that." No, they did such a great thing for us, not for the third world. Yeah, because we've turned them into slaves, but for the third world, they've moved forward a lot. That in the last 25 years, they moved forward what would have taken 100 years, and they did it without rape, torture, and colonial empires. China did it without raping people. Can you believe it? India has moved forward without raping people. Can you believe this? They didn't rape anybody. I'm not talking about the kind of rape that people are saying, one or two rapes.
Right.
There's a Chinese migrant who did a rape here
Talking
or
about,
here or there.
systematic. Yes.
I'm talking systematic rape, torture, murder, chopping of hands. Yeah, I mean we don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, now we just do a few dummy invasions, which are still bad enough, like Iraq and Afghanistan. Yes, and the thing is, yeah, I don't support migrants who do rape in Europe or European soldiers who are doing rape in Iraq and Afghanistan, who
European
are now
soldier
walking around.
migrants.
Yeah, I don't support either side. Well, anyway, here is another thing. Yes, so the thing is, you could read, have a look, and
Yeah, so
I think this person is
I'll
probably older.
yeah,
So
I'll just finish the upper paragraph also. So, if financial services business shifts to Frankfurt or Paris, it gets harder and harder to manage that flow funds, and a Black Wednesday style run on the pound becomes more likely.
Stop. Financial services basically means paper business whereby you sign deals.
Right.
We'll take this, you take that. Oh, yeah, let in 1 million European migrants and Americans to work in the Middle East in the oil sector. Oh, yeah, Pakistan controlled the Middle East at the time. People don't know this. That's why we took Pakistan migrants into Australia, Canada, and England. People don't know this. Yes? So the thing is, financial services means it's to do with these things, the money. That to keep the money in our side of the world, we've had to do a few of these things. And yeah, the thing is, when the deals don't work and anymore, and their side of the world get better, they're going to go anyway. I really think they're going to go,
Oh, yeah.
but let's do it in a nice way so that they turn and say, hey, I had a nice stay in England. So that then even over here we'll turn and say, hey, we built a beautiful world using by these deals. Yeah, this history is there. It's nothing hidden. It's just that people don't check. And the thing is, right now, yes, when I talk to Indians and Chinese, they turn and say, yeah, we like the system, we benefited from it. And when I speak to people in London and in Paris and in Frankfurt, they turn and say, yeah, the international system, it's benefited. We don't want to go back. It's like, what does this man have to say? Read it.
And there is a final factor that means that we can't simply go back to how we were in the 1970s. We
Yes,
eat a
there you go.
completely
There you go.
different
That's the main
diet.
thing. That's the main thing. It's like we can't go back because we've gained too much, and we're going to lose all of that. That the thing is, if somebody's going to say we've got fridge freezers now, let's go back. No, the fridge freezer is going to rot in 10 years. Washing machine's going to rot in 10 years. Don't forget, in the 60s and 70s, hardly anyone had a fridge freezer or washing machine. We had to take it to a center, yes, whereby the center in a place where they would clean things if you could afford it, if there was one nearby you. But anyway, carry on. Keep going.
We eat a completely different diet. We are used to going to a supermarket to buy a massive range of food, which simply wasn't the case pre-EU, including staples like wine or olive oil. We joined the EU at the time of the wine lake, and the UK rapidly acquired a taste for wine and foreign food. The first foreign holidays in the 1970s helped this shift. Wine shifted from being a niche product to a household mainstay in a generation.
Yeah, he's just showing an example of one product. You know what? Yes, all over Europe, we can go back. Potatoes and bread. We can go back to the 60s. Yes. Oh, you think you're going to have cheese? Cheese. Say cheese, smile. No, the cows use grazing land and everything. We can't afford it. Yes, sorry. Yes, because milk doesn't fill you up and keep you alive. We've got that much population here, even if we sent the foreigners back. You know what? Get used to it without the oil. And you've got to cook it without matchsticks or cigarette lighter oil, without the coal and something, light a flintstone or something. You don't have the fridge feeders. The food goes old and it goes bad. You've got nothing. Oh, yeah, you'll be back in the darkness. I mean, why would anybody want to do that? I'm being realistic here. I'm not showing a nightmare scenario. It's the actual truth. It's the actual truth that the thing is, he's showing wine and things, but no, we've got all kinds of food, pizzas, all these other things. We learned many of these other things, curries, noodles, all these other things. The thing is, we can go back to, potatoes and cabbage.